Hi, Dr. Lal. I'm Amrita. And I guess my understanding of Ayurveda has very much been tied to kind of the way I've watched my mom and my grandmother interact with like allopathic remedies. So it has very much been herb specific. There's a lot of kashayam, which is like a brew of water and herbs and things like that. That's been my understanding. It's a way to do something that it requires consistency like any other kind of medication, but has a more holistic style of impact on your body, a slower outcome. It doesn't show you, if you take a paracetamol, for example, you see the immediate effect of that on your body, on your mind, whatever it might be. But I find that Ayurveda kind of speaks to slower living. So that's been my understanding of it. My question is very much tied to my own life, and I find my social battery being drained really easily. So being able to talk to a lot of people, even though I enjoy talking and I enjoy connecting with people, I find it very difficult to keep that energy level really high. So my question is, how can we incorporate some Ayurvedic practices into our lifestyle that help sustain those energy levels? Are there any practices that can help regulate that so that you don't feel, I mean, someone said burnout, but you don't feel like emotionally or physically drained by having conversations or doing tasks during the day?
See, I think as one of the questions asked earlier regarding work stress and burnout, I think the answer given to that is applicable here also. So one is to actually optimize whatever energy you are naturally blessed with. Basically, that is the first thing we need to do. So connected to the answer I gave for that question on energy drain out, burnout problem. The second is that if to overcome whatever that particular loss of energy, that we need to compensate it with some sort of supplementation. So if it is related to the physical energy, we are told the mental energy, we need to do some sort of a recharging there. So that is the reason why we speak about that the balance between an active and rajas and tamas. Tamas is not being told here in a very negative sense, because usually it is always related to that, but it's not about darkness, inertness in its negative sense, but that's something that is needed. So if that question is because of a problem that you have identified, it means you are engaging in a way that is not suitable for your body mind complex. So the first way to address is to see whether you can change that way or such an exposure about that way. If that is not possible, then you have to plan some way to compensate the loss. See, like how the temple, the same thing, like say one example that we can give is Sandhya Vandan, which you might have seen about how it's like a praying to the sun. It is at the time of sunrise and at the time of sunset, and that, which is tapping that immense energy potential in that. So that's how a priest gets charged, where he dispenses that divinity in a temple. Using a non-secular example, but that's one best way of maybe helping you to understand that. So one way is that you need to understand, because we need to, like we charge our mobile, I think we also need such a, the more we use it, it gets drained. The battery gets drained so quickly. So either to have a extra battery strength naturally and use it lesser for lesser duration, so that it is in use it very cautiously. That's one way of doing it. Other way is to keep charging it more often. The same way, our body mind complex, we need to do that. And one thing we need to keep in mind, that the more easily we get discharged of that energy, and more frequent is the need for recharge, faster would be our degeneration. In the sense, the wear and tear that will happen to that mind-body complex would be faster there. So we need to slow down. We need to, if there is a mistake, and I may be sounding very idealistic, but if it is practical, look at the way things are being happening with regard to this particular topic and see whether it could be corrected. If not, definitely do some sort of regular recharging, physical and mental. So more of a meditation for the mind, positive energy, whatever way, relaxation, it should help. And then physically charging by other methods, which I told, like Chavanaprasam or Brahma Rasayana, which is good for both the mind and body. Such things are available, but they also come secondary.
I actually realized that there's one question that both Amma and I had that kind of came up from that. I think a lot of people suggest to take multivitamins, to take certain supplements in general to increase energy levels or to better one's health. What is the Ayurvedic perspective on that?
See, if you're able to balance energy gain and energy loss, we don't need a supplement. That's what Ayurveda speaks. But if you are not able to do that, we definitely need some sort of a supplementation. Ideally, is to balance, eat wisely and spend energy wisely. That is what Ayurveda speaks about. But if it is for one or other reason, it is not possible, supplements is the only way to. But that means we are subjecting the body. We are not correcting the problem, but we are compensating it in some way. That's a huge difference between both.